Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be discussing about how to do EDA using Python. I have taken a dataset called Airline Customer Satisfaction from Kaggle. We will now analyze this set using Python. To start with, we need to import a few libraries that we need for visualization. I have imported these libraries: Pandas, NumPy, Seaborn and Matplotlib. We need to read the dataset, and this is the path where I have saved my dataset. We need to give the path, and then df is basically data frame. Any variable according to your convenience can be used here, and I am displaying the dataset here. This is my dataset. The first 5 and last 5 rows are shown here. These are my columns. My dataset totally consists of 1,29,880 rows and 23 columns. I wanted to see the column names, like the list of columns in my dataset. So list of df.columns gives the list of all the columns that are in my dataset. So these are all the columns that my dataset has. And then df.shape gives me the rows and the number of rows and number of columns in my dataset. As I have told you, I have 1,29,880 rows and 23 columns in my dataset. Now, I wanted to know the data type of every column in the dataset. So df.dtypes gives the data type of every column. We can see there are a lot of integers. That means a lot of my columns are of integer type, that is numerical, and there are a few which belong to the categorical type. To make it easy for my analysis, I have replaced this space with underscore in the column names. We can see here, after replacing the underscore with space, these are the column names. To make it easy for the further analysis, it would be easier if because the satisfaction is our main target, I converted the categorical type into numerical type by giving dissatisfied to 0 and 1 to satisfied. In further analysis, I will be using these instead of these. Now for analysis, it is important to have a clean data set. That is, the data should not contain any null values or any outliers. So I am checking for null values in my data set. This is the code to check the null values. We can see there are 0 null values in all my columns except the last one. It has 393 null values. We need to remove these null values. So I am dropping all my null values and I am generating the count of rows again. Now we are checking for outliers in our data set. Outliers are basically the values that doesn't fall under the actual range in columns. Like we can see there are 1,184 outliers in flight distance and about 2 to 3 outliers in like every column. We need to drop the outliers. So I am dropping the outliers from my data set. Now I have generated a heat map to see if my data is containing any null values after I drop them. We can see I have a clear data set. If I had any null values, I would see a line in each column in which there is a null value. My data is clean now, that is because I have already dropped the null values. Now starting with the visualization, we're using the satisfaction column and generating a graph to know the count of customers who are satisfied and customers who are dissatisfied. By looking at this graph, we can say that the majority, that is more than 50,000 customers, are satisfied and around 32,000 customers are neutral or dissatisfied. Coming on to a type of class, most of the people travel in business class, followed by the economy class and then Eco Plus class. The customers who travel in Eco Plus are nearly less than 10,000. Now, I have generated histograms for each factor to know what is the majority rating given by the customers. If for in-flight Wi-Fi service, a lot of customers have given rating 4 and 5. This indicates most of the customers are happy with the Wi-Fi services provided in the flights. Coming to in-flight entertainment, majority rating is given to 4 and followed by 5. We can also say that the in-flight entertainment is satisfactory. When we see food and drinks, 2, 3 and 4 are almost equal. This can be considered as a moderate satisfactory to a good amount of satisfactory, because we have people who have given rating 2 for food and drink as well. The same goes with seat comfort. We can see 2, 3 and 4 have been given a majority of rating. Coming to leg service, we can see 4 and 5 are given a majority of rating. So we can see this as a good amount of satisfaction. When we see the departure or arrival time convenient, the same one 4 and 5 are given most of the rating, so we can consider this as a good amount of satisfaction as well. The same goes with gate location and cleanliness as well. We will now see the customer satisfaction rate with accordance to the gender. A lot of female customers are satisfied, whereas we can see the rate of satisfaction is nearly 50% for satisfaction and 50% for dissatisfaction in male customers. When we see the customer type, majority of loyal customers are satisfied, whereas majority of disloyal customers are dissatisfied. We will now see the satisfaction rate with respect to age. We can see the customers traveling on flights are starting from the age group 7 till 85 years in this data set that I have chosen. Now, age group from 39 to 60 shows most satisfaction rate here, and people belonging to the age group 7 to 37 are mostly dissatisfied. We can see the dissatisfaction graph rising higher than the satisfaction rate. Coming to the travel class, business class, which had more number of customers, has also a good amount of satisfaction rate, we can see here. But coming to the eco class, we have more dissatisfaction rate than the satisfaction rate here. Now I tried to group up the departure or arrival time convenient and online boarding with the type of travel classes. We can see the satisfaction rate is higher in all of the classes with respect to each factor. Now coming to the delay factor, we can see there is a lot of dissatisfaction with according to every type of travel in both arrival and departure, for business travels and personal travels both. Coming on to gate location and baggage handling with respect to each class, the satisfaction rate is higher than the dissatisfaction rate for every class. Now we will see the ease of online booking. We are trying to group this with the column satisfaction. So for every rating given, we are classifying it into satisfied and dissatisfied. We will see the rating 4 and 5. A lot of satisfied customers have given 4 and 5, whereas a lot of dissatisfied customers have given 3, 2 and 1. Here we can see the dissatisfaction graph is more than the satisfaction graph. The seat comfort. When we see seat comfort, the same thing, 4 and 5 are given by most of satisfied customers, whereas 3, 2, 1 is given by a lot of dissatisfied customers. Now we will try to find the correlation between the variables present in our dataset. I have generated a heat map to find the correlation. This is the code for that. These are the correlation values given in a table. We will see this in a heat map. This is the heat map. Bright red color implies strong and positive correlation, whereas bright blue implies negative correlation. These shades of blue and red implies the values given respectively. Now we will see which age group is mostly preferring which type of travel class. Economy class is being mostly preferred by age group 20 to 29 or 30, and economy plus class is mostly being preferred from age group 22 to around 40, and business class has a lot of customers here. We can see it is from 22 to around 59, 60. Now this is a general on-whole graph. We can see the satisfaction rate is positive for all these factors and negative for these 3-4 factors. The arrival delay in minutes, departure delay in minutes, flight distance and time convenient. For this, the satisfaction rate is negative, whereas for all these factors the satisfaction rate is positive. It is tending to the positive side. Since these two columns are similar, I try to find this relationship. We can see a linear relationship between these two columns, arrival delay and departure delay. Now we come to the modeling part. I tried to compare 4 different models here. They are logistic regression, naive Bayes, decision tree classifier and random forest classifier. Now to proceed with the modeling, I have split my dataset into train and test. Usually people do this when they're initializing their dataset. They initialize to train or test. I did this in the modeling part. To proceed, first we need to import libraries. I have imported logistic regression, Gaussian NB, all these models I am trying to find. I have imported them, and we need to see the accuracy rate for every model and then compare. We can see here for logistic regression the accuracy is 80%. Accuracy is basically the percentage of correct predictions. So logistic regression is 80% accurate. This is a multi-label classification, and this graph basically true positive is an outcome where the model correctly predicts positive class, and then false positive is an outcome where the model incorrectly predicts positive class. For now we will consider the accuracy rate. Now for this, the accuracy is almost the same. It is 0.80, which comes down to 80%. For decision tree classifier, we can see the accuracy rate is 0.90, that is 90%, which is so far the highest. And then the random forest classifier has an accuracy rate of 95%. That means the random forest classifier is more accurate than the other 3 models that we have seen. By comparing the accuracy rates of each model, we conclude that the random forest classifier is the best fit for the data that we have chosen.